I see that we have siblings from dialing from all over the world, colleagues who have joined us for this webinar. Just type in the name of the city you're dialing in from. Siblings who are dialing us, just type in the name of the city you're dialing in from. Fantastic. We got some siblings dialing in from India. Okay, fantastic. And we also have siblings dialing in from Europe, as well as the Americas. Fantastic. Lovely colleagues. It's amazing to meet you on this day. This webinar, this session is about talking about enhancing your skills with enterprise agile coaching skills. When we do talk about enhancing your skills, one of the key things which we do say is how do we ensure adding value for everyone, in not only for you, but for your teams but for your organizations you're working with. So for this, lovely siblings, I would like you to think about, if I'm going to use these skills, how is it going to help me economically? Economically, like how much money is it going to make me? And with these skills, how is it going to help me socially? Socially, is it the role which you are looking at? So these are some of the questions you need to ask. How is it going to help me with these skills? So a quick high-level overview of our webinar. It's just quick introductions of who I am, what do I do, an understanding of this enterprise coaching skills, agile coaching skills, what are they? And I got some few tips that can help you to play that role if you are playing that role. And we got some Q&A. It's only for 30 minutes. This webinar has been recorded, and we'll be more than happy if you do have your questions lined up for us. A bit about me. My name is Krishna Chodpilli. I'm a novice kayaker. Kayaking brings adventure, and I love to bring that adventure in everything I do. I also love comedy, learning how to use humor in my day-to-day work. Neuroscience, and there is enough data to show that using humor, people are more than 30% open to listen to you. So how does it work? How do we use those adventure, that humor, to bring people together? So using the skills, I work as a consultant advisor for one of the top few companies. And I also coach and mentor leaders, executive change agents globally, and some of them happen to be CEOs as well. So part of my job role, I train, facilitate, and conduct those workshops. When you say talking about training and facilitating, if you do look at it, the content, what we are sharing in this webinar, it's available, Googleable. If you Google for that vocabulary, it's already existing. So if this content is available, Googleable, so how do we even learn the skills? How do we apply those skills when we try? Where do we have that learning? How do we ensure that we are able to use the skills at a given time? These are the questions many people ask. And sometimes I've seen those change agents come and work with me and ask me, Krishna, there are so many tools. How do we even start applying? They are strategies. They are ways we can use it. So how do we apply them? What are the techniques? And as a change agent, there are so many tools. Because one of the requirements is, when we have these skills, these tools, these frameworks, when we do have them, for a given context, one needs to stitch these tools together, come up with these unique frameworks or strategies that will help your clients. That's the key here, ladies and gentlemen. How do we help our clients to achieve their goals? So this is some of the roles I do as a consultant advisor. And as part of my role, I also work with this organization called Leadership Tribe. They are a consulting and a training organization. So when we talk about a consulting, so clients with a problem. So as an organization, we work with our clients, understand what is the need they have. So for this, we do investigative analysis. It's more like journalistic analysis, understanding what is the real need. And depending on their need, it can be around coaching, mentoring, training, or helping them to come up with their own bespoke frameworks. That's what we do for clients who work with Leadership Tribe. So all the learnings, what we have, we bring in to our public training programs. So this is more of a teaser of what siblings can learn in the public training programs. Just watch out for it. There's some of the interesting tools and frameworks which we would love to give you. So with all this knowledge, they offer a range of training programs. So there are so many organizations who provide the similar thing with LT, but the uniqueness is they are stories, use cases, frameworks which have been working for organizations. So what are those? What are the strategies which work for them? Where did the consultants screw up? Some of those, and what are the lessons they have learned? And these stories carry emotions. Out of curiosity, I want you to think about your favorite story. And what was the emotion it jogged you? I want you to think about it during this. And if there is an emotion, it's caused by content. So if you do know content can create those emotions, so how do we use it? That's the uniqueness, what we learned. How do we facilitate with storytelling? How do we bring people with and come up with a framework or a roadmap that help them to achieve their goals? This is some of the things Leadership Tribe does in their public and their private programs. If you or your teams are interested to get some help or know how Leadership Tribe can help you, just drop a note to hello@Leadership Tribe and they will be more than happy to get back to you. And yes, this webinar has been recorded and a deck will be shared to you at the end of the session. So lovely colleagues, this brings us to the one big concept. What is this enterprise agile coaching? What is this entire gambit about? So for this, lovely colleagues, we need to have one basic understanding. There is one term which has been used in here. It's called the role of a coach. Coach, there's a term called coach. Agile coaching, enterprise agile coaching, whatever the role is, there's one term which is commonly used, coach. So according to you, what is the role of a coach? Type it in the chat window. According to you, what is that role of a coach? Type it in the chat window. Using your chat window, lovely siblings, type it in. Okay, we are seeing some answers come through. Coaches, okay. Coaches teach, okay. On LinkedIn, we got also some chats coming through Facebook. All right, there are some amazing answers, lovely siblings. The role of a coach, yeah, I can't agree more, is to make the team win. It's make the team win or the individual win. That's the game they are in for. Helping the individuals or a group of people. It can be 8 to 10 people, or it can be a business unit, or it can be an enterprise. Their role is to help the team win. Because as agents, as change agents, when we are working in organizations, these are economic powerhouses. All the organizations we work, these are economic powerhouses. They create opportunities. They help you to pay for stuff. Some of them who are employed, they help you to create a life, create opportunities to grow. So that's the organizations, what they do. So for that organizations, what we are doing is helping them win economically. So more successful the organizations are, the better as a community we are. So yes, the role is to help them, can't agree more, Shoma, guide, support, empower individuals. So they are there to make the teams win. And for that, it's a game, lovely siblings, is how to bring those amazing people, every individual in your team. They're smart people. They're smart. They know their shit. They're amazing experience. Some of them come with 30 years of experience, 40 years of experience. When you bring these experts together, how do we make them play the game? That's the whole part of it. Because as coaches, when we are working in everything we do in the team level, 8 to 10 people, and some coaches work at the business unit level between 8 to 10 teams or between management, or some of them working at the enterprise level within organization structures, cultures. This is what change agents do. People like me, consultant advisors, people who are attending these webinars do. They are working in those planes. But the most important thing, common thing in all those is identifying that value. It can be value according to who? Value according to the people who we play the game, or value according to our end users who are using the product, value according to our bosses who pay our bills because they're telling us the priority. So that's the value. Once we get that value, we communicate using the tools, Scrum, Kanban. There are so many frameworks out there. We use those tools to communicate. And if you're using in scaling frameworks, plenty. So value, communication. And the third hidden part is about you, how you connect with your team members, with your stakeholders, with your organization. Because if you cannot connect, or if you're able to win that game of connecting with these people, because it's about you identifying that value, helping that value, using the tools to communicate, and we are driving the change, we are bringing the change. And for this, one has to connect. How do we connect? How do we bring those people together? There are some skills, what we do and what we use. For this, lovely siblings, these skills have been existing. These skills predate Agile or any change management frameworks out there. But it's been well articulated by this lovely sibling of ours. Her name is Lisa Atkins, and she has written a lovely book, Coaching Agile Teams. I would recommend you to check it out, get a copy of it. So she talks about, she creates this little mandala of all these skills, putting them in the middle. Talks about Agile Lean Practitioner. As an Agile Lean Practitioner, is how do we bring agility and lean together? So when you talk about agility, it's about the flexibility and adaptability, and lean is about eliminating waste. These two, how do we bring them together? So for that, one needs to understand at a deeper level, at a DNA level, so you can stitch those tools together to drive value. And for that, it's content, lovely siblings. You need to learn what those tools are, what is the purpose of those tools, what is the purpose of those frameworks. Because end of the day, a fool with the tool is still a fool. It's not about the tools anymore, it's about you. So having that knowledge, one can teach, mentor individuals, teams, leaders, wherever you work in that hierarchy of your organization. On the right-hand side, it's also the process of, as a professional coach, you're not providing solutions, you're not advising, but you're navigating the journey, helping the person to come up with their own solutions, come up with their own strategy, and create a winning game. And for that, you're facilitating that conversation, being neutral in everything we do. So this is at the heart of it. This is called the stance, or the dance, lovely siblings, depending on the context, how do we dance? How do we dance? And yes, there are few more advanced topics, like as a change agent, one can be consulting, advising. But I've been asked, Krishna, how much should I consult? How much should I play the role of a professional coach? What is the balance? So, lovely colleagues, it all comes down to what is the best way to dance with your client? What is the best way to help them win the client? These are all the skills out there. Because end of the day, when you're talking about the dance, it's the roles and transitions. You change, you adapt, and bring people together. That's what we are here for. If your teams, if the organizations, they're winning, there are more clients, they want to work with you, they need coaches, and it's one of the profession which is growing. And it's not about the role per se, it's the skills in that. Whatever role you want to do, bring those in. And you're transitioning, bringing them together. That's the dance, lovely siblings. Some might think it's stupid. It's fun. So these are some of the dimensions. In that dance, these are some of the dimensions you work with. You work with your strategy, bringing the shared purpose, the vision, what we are here for. And within the strategy, there's a roadmap, there's a structure, there's a network of empowered teams, bringing them together. We do know that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And it's Peter Drucker has coined it. I love that statement. When we know culture can eat it. So how do we bring those people, the dynamic model that ignites that passion, and using the processes, the technology, all in one. So these are some of the areas we work in. This is with all the areas we work in, we are helping these organizations to build that agility. So when you say the agility, in the markets right now, markets can be volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. This is a term coined by the American military in 1980s, VUCA. It's existing. When it's happening, how can we adapt? How can we change? So there are a couple of vocabularies what I wanted to be comfortable with, lovely siblings. One is called business agility, enterprise agility. What does it mean? One, the business agility focuses on the people, the relationships with each other and the work, and then facilitating the processes to get done. That's about business agility. And for the enterprises, it differs from business agility. It takes the holistic view of all those things, all those departments, business units coming together, working to help the business win. So we understand we want the economic houses to win, but at the same time, the departments, the units, they all need to work together. Wow. That's a system. That's a system. And for everything, when we are trying to bring change to the systems, let's have a poll, lovely questions. According to you, what is the success rate of this amazing change programs? So we all work for one thing, to bring change, make kumbaya and sing song, we can be happy. But according to you, what is the success rate of these change programs? Type it in the chat window. Wow, we got an answer? 10%? Okay, that's interesting. 100% fit? Okay. On Zoom, we are getting some answers too. We got 50 from Srinath, and Nebel's close to 50 to 60. We got 30 to 7. We got some amazing ranges. I love it. So lovely colleagues, with that information, let's look at the data from Gartner, who's been collecting data from various for some time now. According to them, it's a clear failure of 50%. What's the point of even working on those projects? Instead of spending money, pushing your team, don't spend money, give it to your employees. guess what? There's also a research which shows that employees are happy, they tend to deliver even more. So pay them, take them to a pub, pamper your employees. You can do all those stuff. But in reality, we need to get that stuff done. We need to get things moving. So with this data, when we know the success rate is approximately 34%, that means the outcomes have been met for those change programs, for those projects which we've been working on, and clear failure 50%. So knowing all that information, when we investigated, we found that an elephant was being blamed, lovely siblings. The reason was an elephant. Can you believe it? And the interesting part was, when we dug deeper, there's a parable about the elephant and the 6 blind men. How many of you heard this story? And most of these stories I've read about the elephant and the blind men, it talks about when people do not have the big picture. It's people, when they're siloed, they tend to touch, feel, and say, this is a rope, this is a wall, it's a tree. I agree. Not having a big picture, it can be siloed, and you can create that silo mentality. But also, in most of the stories, nobody has taken the elephant's perspective. It can be 6 blind animal molesters, nobody knows. So it's taking everyone's perspective, the big picture. Having the big picture helps us to understand things better, because in systems, it's everything. We, as human beings, we are part of a systems. When we are working with different systems, complexity increases. So in our organizations, we work with different units. It can be CIO, IT, various business units. These are all systems on their own. When we are bringing more systems, it brings in complexity. And when you're adding those agents as people who are working with these systems are changing, adapting as we speak. And when these changes are happening, within the organizations, there are structures, there are business processes. So these structures, these business processes, were they created overnight? Make a wild guess, lovely siblings. The structures in your organization, the business processes, the way we do things, when were they created? Type it in your chat window. From our research, these structures and organizations have created at the time what served the purpose. So with these changing markets, how do we adapt these structures? How do we adapt these business processes to help our economic houses win? So this is, in a big nutshell, having all this information as a change agents. How do we step in, bring that change in? Where do we even start? So these are the questions which are covered in some of the programs which we do, lovely siblings, and these vocabulary which we are using, they are all Googleable. I would recommend you to spend some time, check those out. And with all that information, how do we investigate those the systems? Is some of the tools like value stream mapping, root cause analysis, some of the Kaizen activities. There are various tools out there which we can use to investigate and learn more about the system. The more we learn, we are creating a journalistic investigation, journalistic audit to see if the value we are delivering, the work which we are doing, is it helping to change the game and helping to win the game? So in everything we do, the work which we are doing in the organization is we are facilitating. In everything we do, we are bringing people together. The role of a change agent is bringing people together for their need, helping them win their game. It can be an individual, or it can be a team or a business unit. So this is a role we do as change agents. So when we are doing this role, I've been asked, Krishna, when there is so much content available, so how do I learn the real meaning and how do I get those tools to practice? For this, I would recommend you to get some training. And if you have an opportunity to practice those skills in a safe environment with your peers or with your colleagues who you work with, practice those skills, those tools, lovely siblings. One thing for any tool or a skill, just like this ukulele, which I'm learning to practice, one has to fine tune. The strings on this ukulele needs to be tuned to the music I play or the music I want to sing. So it comes back to you, lovely siblings. What is the tune? What is the song you want to play for your teams or your organizations? We got some tips here. For this, the skills, what you're using to start with, what is in it for you? If you're going to use the skills, how much money you want to make? What is in it for you with your career-wise? So what, with respect to your economic value, what is it you want to achieve, say, in the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years? What is that you want to achieve? It starts from you. It's not only economical. Think about your social. Is it the titles, the roles you want to play? Because, lovely siblings, enterprise agile coaching, it's agile coaching. These are skill set. As a change agent, one needs to dip into those roles with the given context and play that hand, use that hand. So what is that role you want to play? So as a change agent, it's a leader or it's, what is that? Your economical, your social. And morally, what is that you want to achieve for yourself? Be clear about it. So once you know what you want to achieve, you got your content there, you got your tools. So find out what tools you need to be using to help you win that game and start investing, practicing those tools, lovely siblings. So if you need more help, do not hesitate to reach out on Hello at Leadership Tribe. So for we have some upcoming training programs, which is helping leaders and change agents at the team level, at the enterprise level. So people who are interested in the enterprise agile coaching, one recommendation I have, get good with your facilitation skills. We do know that how do we, content creates emotions. In the way we teach, some of the programs we teach, we also talk about these emotions, what hormones does it create? Oxytocin, adrenaline. There are some different chemicals that are caused with the content we have, with the stories we have. If you know those stories are causing, how can you categorize your stories? How can you categorize the content and sprinkle in a way you're able to facilitate that journey for your participants? So those are the skills we teach. So these, some of the advanced topics we teach using storytelling, using emotions to facilitate those conversations. Having those skills, we build on with your teaching, mentoring, facilitating in this agile coaching class. It's an awareness, lovely siblings. And for the people who have gone through this coaching boot camps, we are also providing a career coaching one-to-one session. So this is at the team coaching level. And for the siblings who have had the experience of facilitation, mainly facilitation as well as coaching and teaching, facilitation and mentoring and professional coaching, people who have the experience, would recommend you to come and explore what is this enterprise agility is, the awareness of what enterprise is, what those skills are. Having that awareness and the skills, we're also teaching you how do you stitch them together. And part of it is how do you coach those agile transitions, the transformations you are doing. It's like creating your own script for an Oscar How do you create your own strategy to win the Olympics of your transformation? How do you co-create those? These are the topics which we dig into as part of this enterprise coaching bootcamp, and there are various other training programs out there. So siblings, the short note for you is get comfortable with the vocabulary. Whenever you want to learn, just like me learning how to speak English, starts with the vocabulary. And using that vocabulary in sentences. So any training program you go to, get comfortable with the vocabulary and how does that vocabulary fit in. Once you're able to get that experience, your trainer, facilitator will help you to explore and how do we bring this together. Learning happens with people. Learning happens with debating. Learning happens when you come across different perspectives. So learn as much as you can, read as much as you can before the session. And once you come in and for the sessions which have been advertised here, and I'm one of the trainers for Leadership Tribe. So I can't wait to see you in our sessions moving forward. This is a very high level, lovely siblings. And I would love to take a couple of minutes for your Q&A. All right. What are the certifications for me to become an enterprise coach? Siblings, enterprise coaching, agile coaching, these are skills. So I would recommend you not to run behind the titles of the roles you want to do. Recommend you, what is that you want to do for fun? Because end of the day, if you do not like teaching and you want to be an EAC, what certificates, it doesn't matter. So think about what is the skills or the role you want to do, not the title. Look at the skills. And when you're looking for certifications, trainings, what skills or competencies or models I can learn from the training program? Start from there. And by learning and investing in it, what is in it for you? Do you want to make money out of your certifications? If you're investing your time, do you want to show that you're creating value? Hell yeah. Because how do I know as a change agent I am successful? Depends on my change agents, how much value they're creating for their clients. And it can come down to a dollar value. It can be mapped to a dollar value. All right, lovely siblings, it was lovely to have you. Can't wait to see you again. On that note, longest way up, shortest way down. See you all. Ta-ta.